Whenever I tell someone I live in Morocco, they gasp and ask, is it safe? Now, in my opinion, I think that's because the propaganda runs deep. When we think of places like Morocco or even Africa in general, we think, oh, it must be dangerous. Well, I'm about to go for a walk at night. Let me pass this dark hallway. There should be some lights outside. And I'm going to explain to you whether or not Morocco is safe. Now, it might surprise some of you, it might be known to some of you, but generally speaking, Morocco is an absolutely safe country. Especially when it comes to like violent crime against tourists. It happens like it happens anywhere and everywhere. It happens in London, it happens in New York, probably happens in your hometown. But generally speaking, you'll be safe, especially as a foreigner. Morocco is a homogeneous society, so people are usually thinking about each other, looking out for each other. So you're not likely to come across people who are just like, there are gangs and there's always dangerous areas. So I don't want you to think Morocco is this utopia where everyone is absolutely safe from any possible, running in with any type of crime or problems. No, there are problems. I mean, I've never personally seen any issues, crime, etc. But in the past, for example, my father's car, we came here on holiday by car from the UK, and he left his car out with a bunch of belongings, and it got broken into, and everything got stolen from within the car. Now that would happen even in the UK, so it's not unique. But actually, if we compare, let's say, London and Rabat, you'll be shocked. Let me show you the comparison. The level of crime when we compare London and Rabat. If you look at level of crime, London is actually 64, almost 65 on the index, and Rabat is only 30, basically 31. So off the bat, you can see there's a big difference. London's crime has been increasing as compared to Rabat's. People being worried about their home being broken into, burglary basically. London's higher. London's higher in muggings. London's higher in cars being stolen. London's higher in things being stolen from cars. Worries of being attacked, assaulted. As you can see, worries of attacks due to ethnicity or skin color, problems using drugs, and basically on every metric, London scores higher. So you can pause the video if you want and have a look at this. But as you can see, clearly, London is way more dangerous than Rabat. So if you're thinking of coming to Morocco and you're worried about the safety, now you know. Yes, Rabat is way safer than London, and I think we need to get this idea out of our heads that the Western world is safer than the East or Africa, which in some cases is true, but in a lot of cases it's really untrue. I mean, look, I can't go and walk in London without fear of being stabbed or mugged. I'm always on alert. I've always got my hood up, acting kind of gangster, almost trying to be a hard man. Not because I am one, but because if you show any kind of weakness on the streets, they might think you're an easy target. And I've been away from the UK for a while, but the more I speak to my friends who still live there, and I go occasionally I go back, they're like, it's just getting worse. Thank God you're out of here. Like, they want to come join me, half of them. So crime is an issue in London, I would say, and it's getting worse. And as you saw in the index, it's not as bad in Rabat particularly. I've never been to, there's probably really dangerous areas, that you shouldn't go in Morocco. I don't know of it myself, but yeah, let's stay away from those areas. If you're Moroccan, please tell me what you think. Do you agree with me or do you disagree? Because you know better than I do. And also, one more thing. What's the most dangerous part of Morocco? You tell me, and I'll try and go there, okay? I don't know if I will, but anyway, yeah. Tell me, and let's see if I can make a vlog there. See if I'll take a crappy phone, see if I get robbed. And if I talk about myself anecdotally, I've seen stabbings in London. Yes, actually I never saw the actual stabbing, but I saw the aftermath of the guy on the floor holding his stomach. I've seen muggings, I've seen gangs trying to do something. I've seen a bunch of stuff. And I think if you're from London, you probably understand what I'm talking about. Whereas in Morocco, I've never seen physically, eye to eye, somebody, committing a crime. Not that I can recall, no. See, the problem with what I'm saying is a lot of people are going to have experiences and they're going to base their assumptions and generalizations based on that one experience. So for example, imagine on my first day in Morocco, I got mugged and then somebody slapped me in my face. I'm going to start to think, well, Morocco is an unsafe place and whoever says otherwise just doesn't know. But statistics talk for themselves. People's experiences, they're also important, and I don't want to take that away from anyone. But if you're a Moroccan going to London, you should be more worried. Let's just say that. I'm speaking from experience as well as just stats. It's just happening. In regard to violent crime, it's not going to happen. Well, God willing, it won't happen. But what can happen are scams. That's an obvious one. People are scammed quite a lot, so be careful. They're not necessarily crimes, but catcalling apparently happens. It's never happened to me. Maybe from the back because I kind of look like got long hair, but yeah, I've just heard this, and I can assume it's true. I'm not going to say anyone's lying or the experiences aren't valid, but yeah, catcalling is a thing apparently, which is really wrong, especially being Muslim. It doesn't matter if they're women from the west, women from the east. You should have respect for yourself and for women. So that's one thing. I almost forgot, guys. This has happened to me in Morocco. It's not really a crime, and it's just my experience. But when you walk on the street, like any country, I guess, but you get you'll come across crazies, like people talking to themselves, or I'm guessing maybe drug addicts. I'm speaking from ignorance here, but there's something wrong with them, say mentally, and God help them, but they tend to kind of just follow you, maybe look at you. There was one guy, this story is going to make you guys laugh. I was walking with my family, and there's this one guy. He's I think he was a druggie. He looked like a druggie to me. He was he stopped and walked towards me and my family like this, like he wanted something, and I gave him the death stare. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm ethnically half Moroccan, half Iraqi, right? Born and raised in London. And my father has this Iraqi death stare that he used to use, when you do something wrong or if someone messed with him. And the stare was enough to put someone down. Just literally the eyes poking out, almost out of their sockets. So I gave him one of those Iraqi death stares and he backed away. So that didn't result to any violent, interaction. But I can see how something like that might result into something possibly. But generally speaking, you're safe. Another thing to remember is that people here, they follow more or less the Islamic law, the basics, they understand that stealing is wrong, even though some do it. They understand that you should be good. The values, let's say, same as Christian values, right? But I think in a lot of Western countries, those Christian values have started to dissipate. They're good values, of course, they're godly values. But when the society becomes more and more godless, and I'm sure if you guys are Christian or Muslim or even Jew or whatever you may be, even Hindu, you'll agree that the further away you stray from God, the more you're likely to not care about the consequence. Because even if you are starving, even if you feel like you need to scam someone or you need to rob someone violently, you remember God's watching, right? So this is just my opinion, but I think it's logically true too. When you have God watching, your societies are more in tune. And those people have to be obviously sincere, otherwise, there's many Christians, Muslims, Jews that are just that by name. God protect us from such a thing. But, in London, I would never be doing this. What am I doing? I'm walking out around at night with my phone out. Literally, I don't even live in a very dangerous area. The subway next to my house in London, somebody got stabbed and killed. My high school friend's friend got stabbed and killed. I saw somebody who got stabbed and hopefully survived. I never thought what happened after. I've heard of people getting their watches stolen in broad daylight. Amir Khan, the famous boxer, he got his watch stolen. I think it was in broad daylight. So, is Morocco safe? It is. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Guys, I always forget to tell you this thing. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and about 90% of people who have been watching my videos are not subscribed. So if this is your cup of tea, if you are interested in Morocco, if you are interested in what I have to say, my story, my travels, then subscribe. If not, don't waste your time with me, and maybe I'll see you again. But anyway, bye bye guys, bye.